All right, greetings, Cannabis Talk Show Live. We're here, live and direct, at the State of Cannabis, and I am with one amazing, as we say, can-amazing individual that's been in this industry for a long time. He has many, many stories. Mr. Steve De Angelo. Stephen, welcome to Cannabis Talk Show Live.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to be here.
Wow, I'm so blessed to have you. If you can, Stephen, just give our listening audience a little bit of your background on how you've been an amazing advocate for this industry, and let us know what you're doing these days.
Well, I was called to the service of this plant at a young age, as a teenager, and I've just spent my entire career trying to tell the truth about cannabis and reclaim an honored role for it in our society. In the course of doing that, I've built a bunch of different cannabis companies, including Harborside, the Arcview Group, Steep Hill Laboratory, Ecolution. I've been involved in founding some organizations like the Americans for Safe Access and National Cannabis Industry Association. Been involved in some political campaigns like Initiative 59 in Washington, D.C. And these days, my latest project is an advocacy project called the Last Prisoner Project.
Amazing. Amazing. Tell us about the Last Prisoner Project.
Well, the idea behind the Last Prisoner Project is really simple. That now that we have a legal cannabis industry that is, for at least some individuals, building tremendous amounts of wealth, it's time for us to remember all of the people who are still locked up in prison for doing exactly the same thing. Usually in far lower quantities and almost always people of color. So it's a simple mission. We just want all of our prisoners released, and we want them to have a decent shot at rebuilding the lives that were taken away from them.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell us about how would one get involved with helping out the Last Prisoners Project?
Well, the first step is to go to lastprisonerproject.org and sign up for our newsletter. Give us your email, and we'll be in touch and let you know about the kind of work that we're doing. We are working on clemency projects right now to get folks who are locked up in states where cannabis has been made legal, to get them clemency so they can get out. We have a re-entry program that Harvest hemp company or cannabis company has sponsored. So this is a program that's going to train people for jobs in the legal cannabis industry, hopefully while they're still incarcerated, if we can get the correctional facilities to go along with that. We are in communication with and providing as much support as we can to a group of about 50 people who are in prison on life sentences on cannabis charges, meaning they will die there if we don't get them out. So we're calling on the cannabis industry to support this effort, and we have a few programs that companies can participate in. One is the Roll Up to Freedom. So this is a program that dispensaries can participate in, and it's really simple. You just ask your customer to round their purchase up to the next dollar, and whatever that fraction of a dollar is gets contributed to the Last Prisoner Project.
Amazing. Amazing. What are some of the other projects that you have going on? What are some of the other projects that you're working on? I recently read a few months ago that you sold your Arcview Group.
Well, we didn't sell the Arcview Group, but we did take a major investment into it, and there's a new management team that's come in. And, you know, what I found in the course of building companies and organizations is that I really like the very, very beginning of things, when something is nothing more than an idea and a vision that I have in my mind, and then making that real is a really great part of the process for me. Once a lot of other people have been introduced to that vision and they're doing the same thing, then my interest starts to fade. I'm starting to think about the next thing over on the other side of the mountain that I can grab and bring back. So I've learned that's my role, and so now I have been traveling the world. I've gone to, depending on how you count continents, 4 or 5 continents in the last 9 months, visiting cannabis countries, or visiting countries who are reforming their cannabis laws, and getting a picture of what's going on in places like Colombia and Mexico and Jamaica. Germany, Spain.
Yes. And as we know, you are the perfect visionary for this industry. I want to say thank you, Mr. Steve De Angelo, for being a part of Cannabis Talk Show Live. And is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about the state of cannabis today?
About the state of cannabis today. What we kicked off in California 20 years ago has now spread around the world. It is a global cannabis renaissance all over the planet. People are rediscovering cannabis. They are reintegrating it into their lives. Laws are being reformed. People are living who would have died. People who would have been suffering are not suffering, or at least not suffering as badly. Families that would be grieving instead are celebrating another birthday with their loved ones. So what we started here, and it came, you always have to remember, right? Cannabis was a gift to the mainstream world from some of the most marginalized and outcast communities, right? From communities of color, from the gay community, from weed dealers, from differently abled people. We, the dispossessed, the ostracized, brought this gift back to the mainstream. And I hope that when the history is written, that fact is remembered.
Ken Amazing. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's been Ken Amazing. Johnny Matthews, Cannabis Talk Show live and direct from the Loft at the State of Cannabis in Long Beach. We're out.